Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is so good to be here with you at 3:14 on Saturday morning, March 1st, 2025. A friend recently texted me and said, hey Claudia, are you finished being poly?" To that question, I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And this video is to share a little of myself with you and definitely a lot with her. So, hello you. And it can be the personal you, because you know who you are. You know who you are, girl. And it is the universal you for all of you who are with me here on this journey. I am ethically non-monogamous. You can say I am simply non-monogamous. Ethically, I like that word before it. Consensually non-monogamous, to say that, yes, I have thought about it for many, many years. I have been studying about it. I know within myself, deep, viscerally deep within myself, that I am non-monogamous. I walked as a monogamous person for, I would say, the first half of my life. That monogamous walk, I do not ever want to walk again. Ever. So no, girl, no, 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 you. No, no, no. I will never be finished being ethically non-monogamous. Now, some of you might say, girl, what is that? You know, you might have missed certain videos. You might not have read certain books. To be ethically non-monogamous, to me, number one, is to give up the notion of the one. That was inculcated in me and many of you if you are in monogamously, if you are in a monogamous environment from birth to present day, you know about the one. Oh, the fairy tale love of, I'm going to live my life and have a good time, and when I meet the one, everything stops. I stop looking at other people. I stop being open to loving others, and I just stick with this one person, as in me and this one person against the world. But no, 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 no. That went out with thoughts of not being complete without the one. I am complete as I am, and I choose to share myself, my love, my life, my thoughts, my path, my journey with those that I love, that I find myself loving. And that could be loving in a marriage. I could be loving someone as in a triad, a throuple, how many ever the number might be. It might be a quad. The number doesn't matter. What matters is your heart. My heart is open enough to love myself and others. I have pictured and fancied non-monogamy as a triad, as the ideal relationship. For so many months I've said I want to be a part of a throuple. I think a triad or a throuple would be great, but that is not, today, more educated as I am on the subject of non-monogamy, that is not what I'm striving for, because my ethically non-monogamous status could be with 5 people, maybe 6. I don't know until I walk into those relationships. Now, you don't know what tomorrow should hold. It might hold you could be in a loving unconditionally loving relationship with four, like I said, with 7 people. The circle could be 12. How many ever people you can love adequately, sufficiently, lovingly, wholesomely, and give them your time, attention, and your love, share your life with them, then that is the number that you will have. Now, you could be polysaturated, ethically non-monogamously saturated, where to you, loving 5 might be enough. Loving 3 or 2 others might be enough. That is up to you if you are non-monogamous. I am non-monogamous with polyamory at the forefront as far as being able and desiring to love as many people as my status can hold in a very caring, attentive, unconditional way, and not just to be with them for a certain activity. I want to incorporate them, whoever they are, whoever they will be, into my life, and me in theirs, in a way that says we are wholesomely a family, even if we all live in separate houses, or if we live in separate states. If we live in the same house, that would be absolutely beautiful. That is what I would really love, for all of my loves to be in one house under one roof with our different families. If some of us have children or not, that's wonderful. Bring them all in. Grandchildren, bring them all in. But if we should happen to live a solo poly, then that would be great too, as long as we are in a committed, loving relationship. So no, I will never be finished with polyamory. Now, polyamory and ethically non-monogamous can be under very many umbrellas, under that one umbrella of non-monogamy. Ethically non-monogamy would incorporate those relationships that have a hierarchy or non-hierarchy, polyamorous, swinging, relationship anarchists. All of that would be listed under ethically non-monogamous, consensually non-monogamous. And polyamory, for some of you who might not know, is different from swinging in that even though it's under the umbrella of ethically non-monogamous, non-monogamy, swinging is when, of course, you meet with others just for the sex, and you don't have a relationship with them that would be a committed, loving, romantic relationship where you would share your life with that person. You enjoy sex and that activity, and that is swinging. So swingers, if they're married, they're not trying to bring someone else into the relationship that's already established. They are there to enjoy sex. Polyamory, it's all-inclusive. You enjoy others in a loving, committed relationship that is designed by the people in it. So it's not just a man and a woman, and this is what we do and this is what we don't do. No, it's anyone. It could be 2 women, it could be 2 women and a man, it could be all 3 men. The configuration of it could be in any configuration. However, if you're polyamorous, you all are loving, romantically loving, and you're in a relationship. and everybody knows about it. Thus the term ethically non-monogamous. There's no cheating. There's no need for cheating. It is all honest, above board, nurturing, and caring. No need to hurt someone else by cheating because you can't tell them that you have someone else or you're in love with someone else and that someone else is outside of your relationship, your union, your marriage. So no, I cannot fathom any other way to live, other than non-monogamously. Now, as far as hierarchy and non-hierarchy, well, hierarchy says that if I'm married, my spouse is the most important mate in the relationships that I have. And others take a secondary seat, a tertiary seat, or however many seats down from the one in that primary relationship in my hierarchy as possible. I'm not aiming for a hierarchical relationship. Mine would be a non-hierarchy because I'm not saying one love is greater than another. I'm saying I'm loving across the board with mine, and they're all important. Just as I would hope that I'm important to them, and I'm not placing one love over another. So that's the hierarchy versus non-hierarchical. I don't even want to have a veto power in my relationships. Now, veto power is when in my relationships I see that one of us is being abused by another partner that my other partner has. So I say, I don't want you to see that person anymore. I'm vetoing you from seeing that person. No, I don't want that as a part of my loving agreement. Communication is paramount in being ethically non-monogamous. So if I can't communicate well enough to help that person see that the other love is not being unconditionally loving with him or her, then they'll have to learn it the hard way. The person will have to learn it on his or her own, the hard way, without being able to take someone else's advice and wisdom and loving care. And that's fine. That's just what happens. We learn by the means that's best for us. And however you get it, prayerfully, that person will get it. But no veto power here for me. Now, I really believe that communicating effectively and communicating fearlessly has been one of my primary lessons in this life this time around. Because I believe that we reincarnate wherever our soul's need has to be. But this time around, I have been dealing with being able to communicate my absolute, honest, and true feelings with anyone that I'm involved with. And when I can't or I haven't, I have the consequences that go along with that. We all do. So I am still learning, and I hope to always be learning and practicing what I'm learning and showing up as honest and a loving, communicative person, because that is one of my primary lessons. And in being ethically non-monogamous, you must communicate. You must communicate. You must set healthy boundaries in each relationship. You must be open to hearing what the other person needs in the interaction with you in the relationship. You must articulate your needs and desires to your partners. You must have a schedule, I would say, to make sure you balance where you're placing your energies, where you are supposed to be here, over here on a date with this one, or going to a special gala with that one. You have to, everybody has to have that calendar where we can all be on time and present for one another in our ethically non-monogamous relationships. So no, my friend, no, 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 you know, I will never be finished with being being polyamorous, being ethically non-monogamous is who I am. And I can't change my ethnicity. I can't change my height. There are so many different things that I can't change and don't want to change. And I don't want to change being non-monogamous. I don't want to change being ethically non-monogamous. I love reading books on the subject all the time because I'm creating community when I read as much as I can about being ethically non-monogamous in a fabulous way. I'm creating community with those that I want to share this information with my partners, with my loved ones, with family, anyone who asks. I want to be versed enough to adequately explain who I am, what I believe in. So I read it all the time, and I walk in life open to being able to show up and be aware that this person is attracted to me, that I'm attracted to that person, and being open enough to say it from the very start. You know, I don't have to hide it and let someone walk with me for a period and say, oh my goodness, I didn't know you were ethically non-monogamous. I didn't know you were non-monogamous. I didn't know you were polyamorous. That's who I am. That's going to meet and greet you first. Just like you understanding what my hobbies are, or what I love to do, or the subjects that I read about, my activities that go on when I'm not working. All of that is who I am, and you should know that I am ethically non-monogamous. I love it. I am proud of myself for having evolved to this place in this life. And if you aren't ethically non-monogamous, that's okay. Maybe you can learn from me and I can learn from you. And no, being ethically non-monogamous is not to say, oh my goodness, you're simply being ethically whorish. No, my love, you cannot be ethically whorish. You have to, when you have standards, when you have boundaries, when you have your own truth and knowledge, you can't spread yourself that thin, because you're going to be open to being honest with your feelings, being honest with the people you're attracted to, and telling them who you are and what you want. You can't just spread yourself around the world until there's nothing left for you to even love of yourself, because you're giving yourself away to people who don't even deserve you. And if you release horror out of your mouth, you don't deserve me. So move it along. Move along. I think this is a fascinating subject, and I love looking at videos of other ethically non-monogamous people. I love listening to non-monogamous podcasts. It's just a beautiful, to me, fascinating way to live. And I am so grateful that the universe has placed my feet on this path. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I will go back through, go back over, articulate more, share some books that I've read, am reading, because I'm open now to reading 5 or 6 books at a time, instead of just in prior years reading one book at a time. Most of my books that I'm reading are on non-monogamy and being consensually and ethically non-monogamous. Oh, and open marriages are also under that umbrella of being ethically non-monogamous. Swinging, open marriages, hierarchy, non-hierarchical relationships, polyamorous, solo polyamory. When you're living alone, you're not nesting with your partners and you're not living with your other partners. And relationship anarchy, when you refuse to walk on the relationship escalator, where you meet someone, you date, then you decide to be in a serious relationship, and the next step is marriage and children, or maybe adopted children if you're two women or two men. And that is walking towards monogamy. So, no, that would not be mine. I want to, with my loves, design the relationship that's fascinating to us all in the whole ethically non-monogamous group. For example, if there are two other people, we will design our relationship and not bow to what the norm, what tradition says we should bow to in a relationship. So if we're dating other people while still being ethically non-monogamous in our circle of love, that's fine. If we decide to be open, fine. Closed, fine. But we decide that and not society. I hope this at least starts the subject. I'll be back with more. So thank you for listening. If you got this far, I appreciate you immensely. And now I'm going to bed and get a great night's sleep. Talk to you later, loves. Bye-bye.